we got to throw him a bone. So let's throw, they gave us Jesse a few years ago, and then that didn't work out.
So
Then
Clinton was the first black president.
Then Al Sharpton. That didn't work out. Now they done scoped Barack Obama, man. If Barack Obama becomes president, he's not going to be no president for black people. He might even be harder on black people just to show them who, you know, who's really in office.
Now I want to make a point just on something that both of you guys touched on, and that is that the solution is not within this current system of things.
Not at all.
When we look at the history of Dr. Martin Luther King, may Allah be pleased with him. You know, he found himself standing right next to Lyndon Baines Johnson getting the 1964 Voting Acts Right bill passed. You know what I'm saying? And then the act expired in 2007. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
he found himself. Let me just touch on this.
Yeah.
And so he found that even though he got this legislation passed, at the end of his life, he was still fighting the same fight, and even more so. And so look, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote, and I'm going to read this because this is so powerful. He said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam respected Dr. King but disagreed with his strategy of nonviolent direct action and integration. He called integration a hypocritical trick used to deny blacks the divine solution promised by Allah, God. Mr. Muhammad stated in Message to the Black Man on page 308 that Dr. King's efforts were good according to his knowledge. Dr. King would have progressed more if he understood that justice was to come to his people through divine means and not civil government.
Okay, but let's break this down, brother. You know, Hillary Clinton said something the other day, and it was like a smash on Barack Obama and Dr. Martin Luther King. She said that it took somebody like a Lyndon Johnson to get the legislation passed. Now, I'm going to show you how that's a false argument, man, because they passed the Voting Rights Bill in 1964. Did that legislation that Lyndon Johnson signed in 64, did that help them black people in 2000 down in Florida?
Hell no.
That was gypped out of their vote?
No, sir.
No. Okay, in 2004, 40 years after the Voting Rights Act legislation was passed, did that stop black people in Ohio from not getting their vote?
No, sir.
So that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm was talking about back in the 60s. Civil rights bills and legislations and treaties. Ask the Indian about the treaty. Man, a law ain't worth the paper it's written on unless you have somebody to enforce the law. And when it comes to black people and our civil rights, if you don't have a government to enforce the law, it don't mean nothing. It's like when the Supreme Court said shot down segregation, Brown versus Board of Education. They still, in 1959 in Little Rock, had to send troops into the school to let the black kids go to school. Even though the law said the black kids could go to school, the white people said, F the law, and they came out with shotguns and bottles and bricks and threw them at the kids that was trying to go to school.
All the history he's speaking on,
so
it's going to lead up to something. See, that's history. Let's keep moving now. Let's go forward to the future. So you asked the question, who is feared today? Who is feared today? Who you think they fear today? For those who don't like to read, the viewers who don't like to read, who don't like to do research and don't like to do study, here's a quick disclaimer. Anything the American government say good is not good. Anything the American government puts on the forefront to say this is good for the people, it is not good for the people. The reason why they don't have a problem with Barack, because he's not a threat to the white supremacy. He's not a threat to their law. The reason why Minister Farrakhan is a threat is because white people, Asian people, Russian people, all nationalities are beginning to agree with the truth that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is speaking on with regards to foreign policy, freedom, justice, and equality for all, or no justice for nobody.
Hey, can I give a shout out to Minister Farrakhan real quick? Because, you know, I'm into the boogieology and stuff like that. I'm into this new ghetto boogieology. And ghetto stands for...
Shout out to the minister,
I got to, man, but I got to tell you what ghetto stands for. Ghetto stands for gaining higher education to teach others.
We always try to turn something bogus and nigga me. That's my homie now.
No,
we
man,
try to
but that's
turn
real.
something whack into something good.
No, but that's the way black people are. We
Right.
took chitlins, which was whack, and turned it into something good.
That ain't chilling's good.
Well, I'm talking about it was good for survival food when we needed to
No,
survive.
sir. No pork, no ghetto, no nigga.
No,
Be out to the
I gotta talk about the. No, I gotta talk about the ghetto, man, because the ghetto is deep. It's deep, man, and it comes from a town over in the Middle East called Meghetto. It comes from Meghetto, and a great general named Menkaperah attacked this city and put a whipping on this city, and he was chasing these Hyksos out of Egypt. When he was chasing the Hyksos out of Egypt, he chased them to the city called Meghetto, and he put a whipping on them so bad, and that's why, you know, they came up with this term, and they tell you it's a Yiddish term.
Now, what they got to do? What they got to do with the solution?
I'm breaking it down, man, because we talk about
Got 1
nothing.
minute. Got 1 minute.
We talk about nothing, man, but the ghetto is something. I got that from a ghetto prophet named Dre in the barbershop that told me about gaining higher education to teach others. And I say all of that to say this. Check out Wyclef's new album, man. They got Minister Farrakhan playing the violin
that's hot.
on cut number 4
I'm getting that.
on Wyclef's
I'm
new
getting
joint.
that. I'm
And he
getting
gives
that.
shouts out to the minister.
I'm
right
getting
with
that.
And I give a
No
shout out
ghetto.
to the ghetto, gaining
pork.
higher education to teach others. Don't mess with the pork. The pork no good, but ghetto is good.
Hey,
Freedom
and I
and
gotta
justice and
remind
equality for
everybody
all.
to pick up, get that shot, brother. The latest Final Call newspaper, you can pick that up at the Rocky Mountain Re-Education and Retraining Center at 3305 Downing Street, or at Supreme Style Barbers in the Black Experience. That's at 7230 East Colfax Avenue. You see this brother right here? That was the past, man. But the man of the hour right now is right there. Bam! And we're looking forward to this speech. This is coming up February 24th. In a month or so, God's at war. Look at that subject, man.
He will save America.
Absolutely.
This man right here will
He
save
has
America.
the solution.
Save the world. Him
That
right
he
there.
has a solution that we've been talking about, and that's what we represent. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So tune in next time. Stay black, stay strong. Remember, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Peace, we out.
Now let's talk about this
Hey,
ghetto
thank the
thing,
brother
man.
behind the glass.
Where you get that from?
Brother Corey, 2X,
Ghetto.
brother. So nice they had the
How
exit
you
twice.
spell it?
Brother Hashim Hakim, brother Shareef, sister Sharita, our assistant director, beautiful sister. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next week. Same black time, same black station.
My fault. I'm mad
It's all to the good.
The ghetto.
Look like the sands in the hourglass. I can see them falling, yelling to say they like, but look, they don't hear me calling. See, like Gene, they be stalling as if my message is foreign, melting in this pot, falling slowly. I see them dissolving, crawling to be complete like 9 planets in orbit, straight in